Today, I want to talk about whether or not you need to or want to carry something into next year. Welcome to the Up in My Business podcast with me, Lex Lancaster, where you'll get an inside look at all things tech, business, and my life as a physical therapist turned digital operations expert. You'll hear all about my lessons as a business owner, the ins and outs of tech for your business, and more. From SEO, websites, and email marketing to automations, launches, and copywriting, I've got you. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. This episode is brought to you by Jane, a clinic management software built to help you focus on what matters most, your patients. Building rapport with your patients is important during appointments, and that can be challenging when you're also trying to take timely and detailed documentation. That's why Jane built AI Scribe to help you document important information without the manual note-taking. This feature transforms your sessions, seriously, it's amazing, into chart entries, and all you have to do is review your notes, sign the chart, and you're done. And since security is a top priority at Jane, seriously, it is so important to them. AI Scribe was built securely in-house to be fully HIPAA and PIP EDA compliant. With a tool you can trust, Jane helps you spend more time on patient care. To learn more about how Jane can help change how you feel about documentation, head to meet.jane.app/documentation to book a demo or sign up. And if you're ready to go, don't forget to use my code LEX1MO for a 1-month grace period on your new Jane account. And if you're curious about AI Scribe, I highly recommend you go ahead and take a demo with Jane because I saw it in action and it is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Welcome back to another episode of Up in My Business. This is the first time recording in a couple of weeks since I had to pre-record after or before heading to Hawaii and what have you. So it's nice to record again. Shantae and I just finished cleaning the house today. It's Sunday, so it's also Moose's birthday. And we did all the things today for Moose. Moose is 4, which is insane to me. But we went and got her toys. We did a pub cup. We did a short walk because she does not like walks. We did some outside time. We did... jeepers, what else did we do? Oh, she got all of the treats and all of the extra things. So all the things for Moose today. It's her birthday. So she gets to do whatever she wants on her birthday. But we treated her to all the things. And, last week we came back from Hawaii, to celebrate Jill's wedding. And that was lovely. Shantae and I really loved, Hawaiian shaved ice. I could definitely go for some right now. It's so good. I will also say that poke bowls are amazing there. So anyway, Hawaii was amazing. I feel like I don't even need to go into that side of things. I will say though, coming from the East Coast, I would not go to Hawaii if I lived on the East Coast. I would just go to Mexico. Like it's not different enough where... Or what is the word I'm looking for? Incredible enough. Like, sure, it is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It is beautiful. However, if I was on the East Coast, I could get something much shorter of a flight on the East Coast. So all that to say, Hawaii is wonderful. But if I was still on the East Coast, I don't know if I would choose to come here and spend 12 hours on a flight. The most surprising thing was that Hawaii is 5 hours away on a plane from California. And I had always thought it was shorter and it's not. So I don't know. It's a very long amount of travel time for anyone on the East Coast. But for us, I don't know if we'll go back. Maybe, I don't know, but it was gorgeous. It was fun. We hiked, we celebrated, we walked on the beach forever and ever, found some private beaches. It was very, very great. So came back from that. I wrote I can link the email that I wrote in the show notes, but I wrote an email that meant a lot to me. And again, I'll link it, but I took the time to write a very, very, I'm just going to say from my heart email, and just without talking about what I'm going through explicitly, or what I went through, what I'm going through, I don't even know how to friggin' word it at this point. I did, write something about it based on that. And again, I'm not going to go through that in this episode, but should you want to read it, I would really recommend it, only because it is something that I don't always write non-tactical emails. And like, while it was still tactical, it definitely had a lot more messaging as far as, I want to say, being a consumer and also being a business owner and a coach and. So I will just recommend you read that. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, duh. Our wait list. So Shantae and I run the Lecturemind, which is a 12-month. So it was 9 months. We actually switched it to be 12 months, and it's a 12-month container where her and we lead you through launching your first online offer. Or if you have been trying to launch something online and you just don't feel like you're successful at that and you want help around it, coaching around it, we are offering the Lecturemind. Our applications will open in December and the program will start in January. So it's application based because we want to make, like, our promise is to get you results. So it's a long application because we want to make sure that we have people that we can, essentially hold our promise to. Your results are our reputation, and we are very, very aware of what we need, not only in someone, but for someone to have success. And the application is really important to us. So we do have an application for the Lecturemind. Applications will open December 15th, and then it'll be open for that whole week. And then we will review applications that weekend and send out acceptances Monday, the 22nd. So really excited for that. Again, the Lecturemind is so great because you get Shantae for the business coaching side and then me for the tech side. And it's just, we have done tons of research to figure out, like, does this exist? Did this not exist? And this is our third round running it. And we can confidently say that this is the best program out there, especially given some recent experiences that I have gone through. I'm feeling really, I'm going to say, proud of what we offer in the Lecturemind. It is different, that we hold our promise. We give you everything. We teach everything. It is exactly what we say it is. And it's just, in my opinion, what you get out of the Lecturemind. I hate when people are like, I could have charged double this. I could have charged triple this. Like, that's not true. It's not how this works. But what I will tell you is that what you get, it's unparalleled. It is the best education plus the best coaching around tech and business that you could possibly get, while also understanding real life and numbers and predictability. And we're not going to just tell you to create something because everyone creates a course in Lecturemind. Like, that's not how this works. It's all tailored. Every single launch we've ever had someone run, like our first cohort of Lecturemind, one person launched a course, someone launched one-on-one coaching, another person launched a paid PDF. But the reason why people launch certain things is because that's what they need in that moment for their audience, or that's where they're at in the process. So that's part of the business coaching with Shantae, is like, she helps you figure out exactly what to launch first. And then every launch that you want to do after that, you will be able to obviously rinse and repeat the systems that you learned. So you can get on the wait list now. We'll be sending out an email. You get some homework right away when you join the wait list, and then we'll be sending out emails, of course, during the week of the 15th through the 19th when applications are open, but potentially some emails before as well, just like to get you pumped up and ready. So with that being said, what I want to talk about on this specific episode, first and foremost, is the new year. And now is a great time to sit down and decide what you want or don't want to carry into the new year. The reason I say that is because when we take a look at the rest of the year, we're in the beginning of November. So ideally, we can probably start planning out January's schedule And January is a great time to have a little switcheroo, if you will, in your schedule should you want one. So what I mean by that is if we have services we offer throughout 2025 or prior to 2025 and through 2025, if we choose to carry that service over, great. But if we're feeling some resistance to the service that we're offering in 2025, this month right now is a great time to plan ahead to change that up in January. The reason why I'm bringing that up to you is because I talked, either the last episode or the episode before about how I manage my time. And the only reason I'm able to put blocks in my schedule for everything that I'm doing and all of my clients or all of my open space for calls is because I know exactly what I want to offer next year now, right? So like when I went and made that schedule, I made a decision there was one service that I was offering and I was like, I don't think I want to offer this next year. And it was my quarterly SEO services. I just was not seeing what I wanted to see out of it. And I was feeling a lot of resistance around the service itself. So I decided to not carry over that service to next year. And with that, I was able to not include that in my schedule planning for January, February, March, what have you. But what I hear from clinic owners, especially when they're talking about planning out their schedules, they'll say, well, I have patients scheduled out weeks and weeks and weeks. That's awesome. That's the best case scenario. If you have patients scheduled more than 8 weeks out, which most folks don't, unless it's, someone who is, with you for life or a training client, what have you, and they are the same time each week or each month, whatever that ends up being. But right now is a good time to sit down and decide what services do I want to keep? What services do I want to change? Do I need to change the time limit for each service? Do I need to change how much time I schedule out for each service? Do I need to change the way that I actually offer this thing? Do I even want to offer it at all? And for me, when I sat down to build out my schedule in Google Calendar with all the color-coded blocks that I like, I was like, I just don't want to have time. I don't want to make time in my schedule for that service anymore. Like it's not exciting for me. I want to get better results for folks. And by doing monthly services, I get much better results. And I just didn't want to do the quarterly anymore. So when I'm in my schedule, I didn't take that into account. So let's just say you're looking at your schedule and how you plan your schedule right now. You may be having, let's say 4 blocks for a service each week that you don't necessarily want to offer anymore. Well, you get rid of those 4 blocks. Now you have 4 blocks for something else. The other way you could do this and think about doing this, I did an episode, Lord knows how long, I don't even know what it was called, but I did an episode a while back that was basically keep your appointments that are the same type of appointments at the same time or within the same time block. So how that works out for me is I will have new clients and existing clients at different times of the day. So depending on it's Tuesday or Thursday, I will only have new people in I believe it's the morning on Tuesday and the afternoon on Thursday. Other than that, current clients can go anywhere they want, but for new people, I know exactly when I'm going to have discovery calls and exactly when I'm going to have one-off coaching calls, and they can't schedule outside of those blocks. So in a clinic setting or on your schedule, how that might work out is you may only offer discovery calls on Monday mornings from 8 to 10, or you might only offer initial evaluations Monday morning, 8 to 10. One of the things I was talking to a coaching client, 2 weeks ago-ish, I think, and I was like, Lord, time is so crazy here because it does not feel like it's November. And I'm like, I think that was actually 2 months ago. But anyway, I was telling her, I was like, listen, my first experience with cash pay dentistry was back when I was in New Hampshire, and the person only offered initial appointments on Monday and Wednesday at 8 and 9. And that was it. So if you couldn't make the initial appointment time, Monday or Wednesday, 8 and 9 a.m., then you couldn't get an appointment there. So what that taught me was that regardless of, what people can and can't do, they will likely make it work, or they will make it work if they want to see you. So one of the cool things that you can do is if you're thinking that you don't want to have an evaluation on Friday afternoon, then don't allow people to schedule evaluations on Friday afternoon. It's as simple as that. Or in your mind, you're only going to have initial evaluations, between 8 and 11 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, or 8 to 9, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So just setting aside the time for when you actually want to do that service. And that's how you can just change your schedule. So you might be thinking again, because it's so difficult to think ahead sometimes, or you're like, oh man, like I really wish I could do that, but people are all scheduled out. You have to make a point at some time to sit down and change the schedule. And then it will start in January, or it will start in February. So if you sat down today and said, you know what, I don't want to do any evaluations as my last appointment of the day. That was a thing in the clinic that I owned. That's a thing at a lot of the clinics that I have like back end access to for client management. And it works so well. Like we all know that having an evaluation at the end of the day is never something, I mean, most people do not thrive at the end of their day. They want to do all the problem solving, the analytical thinking in the morning, or at least when they're not, burned out or tired from treating all day. So if you sat down today and said, you know what, I want to change my schedule. I want to only have initial evaluations in the morning on whatever day you'd like to have them on, then when you decide that today, you can likely implement that in January or February. Because if you think about it, like I know clients schedule out. So, maybe you have a client that's scheduled out on Monday, Wednesday from 8 to 9, or Monday, Wednesday, 8 to 10, and you can't move them. Well, by the time it hits January or February, I bet there would be a chance, I'm saying a chance, knowing that it's a possibility, that person, should they be scheduled out for the next year, if you will, they will know well in advance where they can find a different slot on your schedule and have a new consistent time. So I think a lot of people will push back and say, well, I have a patient that's every single week at 8 o'clock. There's no way they're going to move. I promise you, they will figure it out. They will come a different day. And if you save that appointment for an initial evaluation, and let's just say that's you only have 4 initial evaluation slots per week. When they fill up, you go to the next week. Or when they're not filled, you may have a gap in your schedule and you could potentially fill it with a follow-up. But either way, you only have specific slots for initial evaluations. And you have to do this ahead of time. You have to sit down and think about it, and you have to actually put it in your schedule, because otherwise you're always going to be reactive instead of proactive. And being proactive about it means that you can actually change things, and maybe you can change a service. For instance, if you have 60-minute appointments and you're deciding that you're going to switch it to 50, you can just say, okay, as of January 1st, or maybe as of tomorrow, when I hit the, 45-minute mark, I'm going to start telling folks like, I've decided that 45 minutes is really plenty of time for us to work together. The last 5 minutes, we're going to wrap up. And then I'm going to have 10 minutes to then finish your documentation before my next patient comes in. Obviously, this is like me. I'm not trying to give you business coaching, but this is something that you can start to work into your schedule now to start in January or February. And it's one of those things where when I see people do this, what ends up happening is they have this all planned out to start in January or February. And from now until or through December, they're like, I'm so excited to get started with this new schedule, because you're going to have to sit through your current schedule for the next couple of weeks. And then you get to implement the new one. And it always feels really exciting and new and good, because you have this different energy about it, because you know that you're doing it to fit how you work best. And I always find that once people sit down and they decide like, I'm not going to carry this service into next year, or I'm going to change the way that I schedule this service next year, what ends up happening is throughout the time they're waiting for their schedule to change and to get to the period where they've actually made the change in their schedule, they will, for lack of better terms, they will be like, when something gets scheduled in that block and it's not what they want it to be. And they're like, I can't wait to have that new schedule implemented. And it's just so freeing, in my opinion. So if you're someone who's like, I haven't sat down and really assessed what I'm doing and my time blocks around certain services, and if I do and do not want to carry services in, or are they too long? Are they too short? How do I need to change this? Maybe now would be a great time, so that way you can implement what we talked about 2 or 3 episodes ago when I chatted about blocking out your schedule and trying to figure out, what does my schedule actually need to look like? What do I want it to look like? What can I change? What can I, move around? What can I consolidate? What can I schedule out so that I am showing up to be my best in that moment? And then actually implementing it in the new year. Because right now we've got, Lord, it's coming so fast. It's already the second week of November, so we've got about 6 weeks until implementing come January. Or if you've already got your January schedule set, you could implement come February. But either way, you have to actually make the effort to sit down and assess and reassess and change. Or the coolest thing is if everything is good, you can just keep it the same. And just knowing that you looked at it and decided that everything could stay the same, obviously, is also a really good thing. All right, friends, that's all I've got for you today. I hope that helped. I'd love to hear from you if you have any questions. I received a few suggestions for the next couple of episodes, so I'll probably start diving into some of those. We will see, but also probably going to be starting to talk about lots of Lextramind stuff too. If you want to get on the waitlist for Lextramind, don't forget to get on there before the 15th of December. Typically, we only send out emails to our waitlist. And if you're not on the waitlist, you won't know that we have the offer. You won't know about applications being open. So make sure you get on the waitlist for that. And otherwise, that's all I've got. I hope you have a lovely rest of your week. Thank you so much for listening. I will catch you next time.